Mackechnie, and I'm a member of the youth group. I'm so pleased to welcome you to the Unitarian Church of Barnstable, Unitarian Universalist. We are a multi-generational spiritual community working for justice and compassion in our world and encouraging individual exploration of faith and thoughtful dialogue. Here, love guides us. We acknowledge that our church and lands rest upon unceded ancestral lands of Wampanoag people who have lived and been sustained in this territory for over 12,000 years. Wampanoag people's history, language, traditional ways of life, and culture continue to influence this community. I extend a special welcome to our guests and encourage you to join us after the service for fellowship and refreshments. You have made it here, and we are so glad you have chosen to worship with us today. If you would like to know more about Unitarian Universalism or this congregation, I invite you to please fill out the guest card that you will find in the pew rack in front of you and hand it to one of the ushers. We are a certified welcoming congregation and celebrate the presence and participation of people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or gender nonconforming. Here, we believe that Black lives matter. We are also a certified green sanctuary, respecting the interdependent web of all existence and promoting the values of a sustainable planet. When we walk in the doors of this church, we are individuals seeking many things. As we take a moment to greet one another, we are reminded that this is a communal worship time, a time to move from our separateness into covenantal community. In the spirit of welcome, please rise in body and spirit and greet one another. Thank you. I invite your attention to the announcements written in the order of service. In addition, we have the following announcements, and please pay attention, this will be on the quiz. Next Sunday, November 23rd, our Children and Youth program will be going on our annual family field trip to the Historical Society of Old Yarmouth. We'll meet at 10:30 in the meadow near the Nature Trails Kelly Chapel and the Weetu for songs, a story, and some hot cocoa. This is a family event, so grown-ups, please plan to join in the fun too. Our service today is youth-created and youth-led. In these times when many are struggling, we hope you leave this room today more hopeful and inspired than when you came in.
Nina, will you light the chalice for me? Today's chalice lighting is by Marjorie Montgomery. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in the community to celebrate the glories and mysteries of this great gift.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in the affirmation in unison found in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is the sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into the harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant together. Please remain standing while our children and youth guide us all of their affirmation. We believe in unity. We believe in community. We believe that each of us has the power to make a difference in the world. Please remain standing in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 298 in your gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses.
In our ritual, Pebbles of Joy or Concern, we speak to each other and to ourselves in silence. We invite all who wish to come forward down the center aisle in 2 rows and place a pebble of joy or concern in our community waters. Each pebble is different from the others. So are our individual joys and concerns. Yet the pebble's sameness attests the happiness and fulfillment, pain and loss are common to all. The water symbolizes compassion and renewal in our community of understanding. We encourage everyone to take this time as an opportunity of silence and or reflection. Spirit of love and listening, thank you for gathering us here today. Help us hold our joys with gratitude and our worries with gentleness. May we celebrate the good news in each other's lives and offer kindness to those who are hurting. Give us the courage to speak the truth and the patience to hear the truths of others. May everyone here feel seen, supported, and strengthened by this community of care. Amen.
Today's offering is a chance to support the community that supports us. When we all contribute, we're saying that this place matters, that connection, justice, and hope matter. We ask that you give what you can, and we accept it with love and gratitude. Please.
It's quiz time. During the offering, please look at the quiz cards in your pew and try to answer them in your mind. There's no need to turn in the papers. Just hold on to them until you're finished.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in the dedication and offering doxology printed in your order of service.
For these gifts we have received, we are truly grateful.
Raise your hand if you've ever taken a quiz or a test. Was it hard? I know they can be pretty hard for me. Raise your hand if you've ever had a pop quiz where you had no idea that it was happening before it was assigned. I know those can stress me out. Now, raise your hand if you got a quiz just now. A lot of you may be wondering why we gave you that, right? I imagine it was difficult, or looked pretty difficult. In fact, there were 3 different versions of the quiz out there, weren't there? Some of the questions may have seemed unanswerable, especially without the possibility of help from your friends. In reality, every single quiz had one trick question alongside 2 harder ones. They were literally impossible to answer to completion. Some of you may have given up or decided not to answer them, I expect. Now, why do you think we gave you the quiz? Do you think we wanted to stress you out for fun? Do you think we wanted to perform an experiment on all of you? Actually, we kind of did. The purpose of this was to demonstrate the anxiety and overwhelming environment many of today's teenagers face in school. School can be very hard, can't it? And it is really tough when you don't get support. This is why many kids are really stressed. However, it is important to remember that not every kid will face this issue. For example, my friend Rue, who you all know, is homeschooled through her mom, Jen, and her co-op classes run by other homeschoolers. She has not had to deal with surprise tests and stressful expectations in the same way my other peers and I experience in the public school system. On that note, I would like to conduct an exercise with all of you. Who here likes to talk about how they are feeling in order to feel better? Personally, I really like to meditate and talk about my feelings to process them. While I was at a conference over the summer, I was part of something called a Quaker meditation, where we all sat in a room together in silence. When we felt like saying something small about our previous activity, we would, such as, "It made me sad," or "This really surprised me." Although it may not sound like it would, it really helped me and was very powerful. So now I want to guide you all through one. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. During those 3 minutes, I recommend falling silent and listening to that silence. You may want to close your eyes, feel free to move, but be aware that the point of the meditation is to tune into the deeper parts of you. When or if you feel moved, you may simply speak about how the exercise or how quizzes in general made you feel. None of this is an obligation, and you can do what makes you comfortable. Welcome the silence. I'm going to start the timer now. 3, 2, 1.
also would make me realize I could do hard things and get through it. I feel a blessing of curiosity.
If you answer C for every answer, you'll get some of them right.
I don't have multiple choice.
I recognize something from Monty Python.
It's hard to sit still.
You can't
Never
copy
likes
this
tests.
equation.
Everyone take a deep breath. How did that feel? Was it calming? Did it help you process? On behalf of myself and my peers, I apologize for putting you all through that stress. However, I hope this helped you recognize the issues in the education system. We hope you leave this child within us all with a new or improved understanding. Kids and adults who are participating in our children and youth program can go there now. We'll sing you out with hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace.
Our reading this morning is from the song Fighting For by the Score. We are the same underneath our skin. We all have demons that we hide within. Some nights we all feel broken. Some nights it all feels hopeless. Just know you're not alone. I'm dying to believe it's more than just a dream. I'm ready to go to war. I know what I'm fighting for. I'm dying to believe the voice inside of me. I'm ready to go to war. I know what I'm fighting for. Deep down, our strength's always born inside. Drown out the voices going. Stand tall to keep from falling. Just know you're not alone.
You living in the future where the land is all cleaned and the weapons are nuclear. If you got pain, there's a pill you can take. But wait, that depends on how much money you make. They created problems to prove they can solve them, but the fix is never free. We've inflated the dollar, it's a surefire method, a financial weapon. In these 10 steps, I can get you to heaven. It's not fair, but you gotta play nice. They don't care what you do for a dime. I would like someone to blame, but it's a system we created. Values profit over product, and we'll know you finding it. When you're questioning your ethics from justifiable methods, walking through the world with the privilege of protection, forgetting all that matters is you're climbing up the ladder, watching terrorize the children and detaining the mothers. It's not fair, I don't wanna play nice. They don't care about the cost of a life. Oh, though we claim united, never been more divided. Facts are like fiction, believe what you find. Believe in a dream that we've never achieved, it's a lie. So how lucky are we to be?
Today, we have the honor of hearing from our youth here who are part of our UCB community, members of our youth group. On Sunday mornings during coffee hour, youth meet with me and other youth advisors to check in, to explore life's big questions, and to grow in community together. Over the past several weeks, these youth who are ages 12 to 16 have spent time reflecting on what matters to them and refining those reflections into the messages you'll hear today. They come to you now in the spirit of honesty, curiosity, courage, and hope. We are so proud of them. Please join me in opening your hearts to their insights, their questions, and their visions for a world that is kinder and more just. First, Kaylee Mackechnie.
This sermon was written by Ruth Shattuck, who unfortunately could not be here today due to illness. There's something interesting about this kind of ministry. I mean, I'm not ordained, but I am right here in front of you doing ministry, aren't I? But seriously though, something is interesting about this. By this, I mean the youth service. This is a way to show adults what we believe in. We don't have the power to influence goings-on in the world, but we do have a chance to communicate here from the pulpit to people who do. What we say here is important, possibly as important, possibly as important as sermons on a regular Sunday. On this day, youth with different viewpoints get to talk about what they think of the world and what they care about. What I care about is making a better world through integrating the natural world and modern life, specifically aspects of nature being put in and around buildings. I'm specifically attentive to buildings and their styles of architecture. I want to be an architect when I grow up. This means that one thing I see as a youth that I don't notice many adults seeing is abandoned buildings, empty storefronts, deserted plazas, hollow shells of places that used to be used, used to be cared for, and used to have a purpose. I've always thought they looked so sad, so forlorn, and so nostalgic. I think it's sad that at one point the land the buildings were built on was part of the natural environment. This natural space was taken to build something deemed more important than a calm, peaceful slice of nature. This is bad in and of itself, but after the building was of no use, it just got discarded. Instead of leaving these abandoned buildings to sit, we could use the space that was torn from nature. If we have to take something from nature, shouldn't there be a reason? Taking space from the natural environment is harming the planet. Developing areas that were previously wilderness decreases space for animals to live, produces more trash to fill up landfills, and more. These are real consequences, and corporations are still taking as much as they can from the planet instead of reusing what has already been taken. This does not mean that I want all empty space developed. What it does mean is that I want places that are abandoned buildings and empty asphalt lots to become something. Whether that's returning it to nature, becoming apartments, a park, or a grocery store, I just want it to benefit the most people and creatures possible. If I become an architect when I grow up, I would like to become the kind of architect that solves all of the problems with abandoned buildings, not creates them by tearing up more land. I would design buildings that are used for more than just one task. For example, newer buildings in certain cities are designed to be more environmentally friendly, with vertical farms and rooftop gardens. Wildlife bridges over roads, which are like overpasses but are meant for animal traffic, prevent creatures getting hit by cars. I want to be an architect that designs structures like that. Someone who helps the world by maximizing space and intersecting the natural world and the modern life so that both sides of the world can live in harmony. An example of this nature-friendly work is an abandoned building and lot down the street from my house. It used to be a car dealership, but the dealership moved, and for a while, it was just a couple of empty buildings and an abandoned lot. It's now going to be turned into apartments, which provides a helpful replacement to the empty lot that was there before. It's not like this is something all architects and developers are taking into consideration, though. When the car dealership moved, it didn't get moved into an abandoned building or lot. The developer tore up a patch of forest just so a car dealership could have more land. This shows that not all architects and developing companies have changed the way they work to be more considerate of the environment. We may think that someone else is in charge of how we treat our space, but we care for all the spaces we interact with. It's our job to care for all of these spaces. It's our job not to litter. It's our job to clean up these spaces after we use them. Together, we care for the earth and these spaces. We can't wait for other people to deal with this unused space. We have to do it ourselves.
Once again, Kaylee Mackechnie.
When I look around at the world surrounding me, I am bombarded with opinions and prompts to make my own. There is no rest. When I was younger, I did not feel as much of this pressure, but now that I am older, I have had news, politics, and societal pressures thrust upon me, and despite this, it still surprises people when my peers and I express concern in the variety of climates we live in. It surprises people to learn that I have different opinions than my superiors and am able to understand complex scenarios, even though I was waterboarded in them, practically gaslighted that it wasn't going to affect me, and expected to survive it. When I was 9 years old, my mom, the Shaddocks, and I took a trip to New York City for my 9th birthday. It was June of 2018, 2 years into the Trump administration's first term. I was still blissfully naive and under the impression that, yes, bad people existed, but they would never have enough power over anyone to truly hurt me or the people I loved. During that trip, I saw immigrants having their children torn away from them and separated because of the new and cruel border control policies on a TV in an alleyway pizza shop. I was told to turn away and not to think about it too hard for fear I would have an anxiety attack as I was prone to having at that time. That was my first look that I can remember of the new age lack of sympathy in our society today. Some may wonder why I choose the word sympathy over empathy. The answer to this is simple. To have sympathy is to feel with, to have empathy is to feel with someone, and to have sympathy is to feel for someone. In reality, none of us will be able to empathize with everybody, but we all can have sympathy. I cannot understand everybody's struggles, but I can listen to what they are willing to share and try to change what caused it, because I also understand that it caused them pain. My first flash of our blinding reality began with corruption in the legal system. Since I was little, I was taught to treat everyone how I would wish to be treated by them, which then evolved into treat everyone how they wish to be treated, while still sticking to my own values. I wish more people thought this way. Instead, whether consciously or not, most possess the philosophy of treat everyone how I wish to treat them and expect them to treat me the way I want to be treated anyway. Since that day when I was 9, I have been forced to notice how, specifically, this government chooses to ignore and promote in certain situations terrible and denotative beliefs toward marginalized groups. Whether it be violence or indifference, none of it solves anything and proves a complete lack of sympathy for surrounding peers unless they are quote-unquote normal. Although anti-violence programs exist to minimize discrimination and unfairness, many of these are underfunded due to the lack of attention by those in charge. Gun regulations are overall unchanging in comparison to 30 years ago. In fact, they are worse in some areas. This is due to the fact that people have been taught to only think about themselves and only do what they feel will benefit only them, damn everybody else. As a student who goes to a public school, I am faced with the constant fear that someday, somehow, I could die by gun violence. There were 2 years in a row where a trend was going around, naming a certain day on the calendar National Shooting Day, or something like that. And I almost didn't attend because, frankly, I wouldn't put it past some of the kids I go to school with. These aren't the only ways I have felt unsafe in places where my safety was supposed to be ensured. In 8th grade, I was sitting eating lunch with my friend when we heard a table of sophomores laughing loudly and pointing at us and some 6th grade girls. They were joking about raping us. I was terrified. That had never happened to me before. And the worst part about that, the police officer standing next to them simply laughed a little and told them to stop. I felt so unsafe. I didn't go to the principal's office until 2 days later because I was afraid of retaliation from the boys. I had bright purple hair at the time. I was easy to identify. Not only this, but when I was a freshman in high school, there was a different trend that called the day in April National Rape Day. And kids were walking around talking about how it was meant to be the day when people would be raped. I almost, once again, did not attend school, but my academic anxiety forced me to show up anyway. Nothing actually happened, thank God. But I was really worried it would. This kind of fear doesn't just occur in schools as well. My peers and I must be constantly dreading large crowds and being alone in public at the same time. The government has done the bare minimum to keep us feeling safe, and even then it doesn't work. I know many people who have been sexually abused or assaulted, both male and female. Many times those people were afraid of telling anyone because they didn't know if anyone would believe them, especially the men. Although women get assaulted more on average, men are still victims and are often victim blamed more or flat out not believed, making it harder for them to come out and voice their horrible experiences. These types of issues of tunnel vision aren't just present in our government. They surround us. I am a 16-year-old in a world stitched together by AI, social media, and ideas being fed to us constantly. As my peers and I are met with a continuously changing environment, we are expected to adapt quickly and effectively. We have more things to learn in school, more debts to look forward to, and incessant expectations to be like everybody else. Very often, many of us notice how older people don't understand how our world is changing faster than theirs. Not only that, but we also face the condescension of people our own age. If we don't act the same as everyone else, we are labeled weird or wrong, and genuinely, that all depends on other factors as well, such as which gender you are. If you are not a man, or do not appear as one, and you dress untraditionally, you must be prepared to be looked at disapprovingly and hear scoffs thrown in your direction. As someone who has experienced both being a girl and identifying as gender fluid, I can attest to this. It isn't just personal expression either. There is such a toxic environment in social media and on the internet. My generation, Gen Z, is the first to grow up in a world increasingly dominated by electronics. Cybersecurity, increased communication, and artificial intelligence have always been a part of my life, and I strongly doubt that will ever change. Along with the arrival of the global pandemic, social media became an integral part of our culture. More opinions were being shared, and whoever interacted slightly with anything started having to worry about how it would affect their entire image. Liking one post or comment could polarize you to one side of any debate. Anger and attacks on others became normalized, and people like my generation have become desensitized to the underlying issues. There are many of us who notice the bad things that social media provides us, but we choose to keep engaging with them because it is entertaining. Despite this, we have activists like Greta Thunberg and people like Amanda Gorman that fight for a change through their speech. The truth is, there are many of Gen Z that are like this, but the polarization in media causes a strong division that is extremely difficult to overcome. Some are fed red pill content of misogyny and racism, and some are consumed by complete leftist ideology all of the time. Neither of these are good. 50 years ago, the teenager's experience was entirely different. Even 10 years ago, the experience was entirely different than the one today. Everyone in this room above the age of 40 dealt with the threat of nuclear war, terrorism, and other such violence. Although my generation never experienced the Cold War or 9/11, we still have to deal with all of the issues surrounding those and more, all in our developmental years. There isn't enough recognition of that. and we are still blamed for not doing good enough. We cause none of these issues and are still expected to fix them. We can't fix the world. So please, for the sake of our world and the future, have sympathy and encourage others to as well. Nothing that we want to happen will happen unless we make it.
Mackechnie.
Those of you who know me may be a bit surprised to hear that I left my school's environmental club after only a few meetings. You see, I walked into the meeting room and the person running the club was talking very earnestly about why we should lobby against wind turbines being put up in the bay. I figured I surely hadn't heard her right, but no. Her position was that they would hurt birds and confuse dolphins, which isn't wrong. I just didn't know how to explain to her that the dolphins would be better off confused than dead from habitat loss and global warming. The people who change the world are not inherently better than you or me. As Unitarian Universalists, few of us believe that there is an angel who comes down and decides which newborn baby will grow up to do good in the world. So then who decides? Who decides if not you? Margaret Sanger, an early 20th century pioneer of women's reproductive rights, the woman who campaigned for contraceptives to be legalized and helped to develop the birth control pill, is by and large the kind of progressive figure that we should laud as the great do-gooder of our time. She was also a eugenicist, a classist, and said some real questionable things about people of color. She wasn't perfect. I'm sure most of us probably wouldn't want to be friends with her, but she still founded the first family planning clinic in America. She still handed out condoms at a time when it was quite literally illegal to do so. The thing is, changing the world requires a bit of audacity. It requires a person to decide that their goal is the most important thing. It's been said that anyone who wants to be a leader is ontologically unfit to lead. And while I don't disagree, the fact is that there will always be these people. If everyone who wants to make things better turns down leadership because they know they are unfit, the only people who will lead us into the future will be those who do not care about the harm they cause. I'm sure some of you have heard the allegory of the starfish. It's a bit of a cliche in UU circles, really. For those of you who haven't, it goes a little something like this. A young girl is on the beach, throwing starfish into the ocean. It's low tide, and there are hundreds on the beach, all slowly drying out. An older man asks her, "Why are you bothering? You can't save them all." "No," says the girl as she throws another one back, "but I saved that one." I first heard this story at Youth Street Reach in Hyannis. For those unaware, it's an organization that provides clothes, toiletries, and warm food for the unhoused population. The UCB youth group goes there once a year. We weren't saving the world there. We weren't going to solve discrimination or cure cancer or reverse climate change. But we were able to help a few dozen people who needed it. Teenagers from lots of different schools and churches came there, all united in a good cause. But the truth is, a lot of them weren't actually the nicest people. A lot of them made dumb jokes or didn't care about respecting my pronouns. Some of the guys refused to touch the tampons we were giving out because they thought it made them less of a man. And I'm not saying I would prefer if they didn't do these things, but what I am saying is that I would always rather 100 flawed people came and did their best, knowing that their best wasn't perfect, knowing that they couldn't help everyone, than I would 10 perfect people come and never made mistakes, but only helped a fraction of the people who needed it. Each one of you is holding a starfish right now. You have the chance to act, to find the nearest body of water and throw it back. But if you wait, if you spend too long worrying about how to hold it or whether you need to throw it into the ocean or the bay, it will dry out and die before you have the chance. My name is Mackechnie. I'm 15, and I want you to stop hesitating to seek or act until you're sure it's perfect. I need you to help change the world. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing hymn number 311 in your great hymnal, Let It Be a Dance.
Our benediction this morning is from the song Another World is Possible. We are unstoppable. Oh, another world is possible. It doesn't have to be like this. Today, another world is possible.